Welcome back. It is Tuesday. I skipped yesterday because I just wasn't ready for the gym. I woke up and I kind of woke up late and I thought, I'm just gonna go to work. Like, I need to shower. I didn't really get my stuff ready Sunday night, so I just figured I would just skip. And I did. And so now we're here, chest day, Tuesday. And so that means arms are going to be Saturday morning, which is fine. So it's just a little offset, but it gives me an extra little break. I went to Vail, Colorado, in the mountains on Saturday. Woke up early, drove there. It was an hour and a half, 2 hour drive, so pretty quick, good for a day trip. I went with my brother, and we were gonna car camp in the mountains to try to stargaze and stuff, but it was cloudy, and then at night it gets down to like 45. So we thought, if there's no guarantee of seeing the Milky Way, then it's not worth it. And I feel terrible, and my farts are nuclear, like really, really bad. So, yeah, that sucks. I was really, really low calories all last week. My weight hardly changed, and then, I'm trying to get a little bit up this week, but the weight doesn't matter as much as just what I look like, you know? And I look terrible. I look really, really bad. I honestly am super depressed about this. I don't know what happened because I don't even want to talk about it. We're warming up here with 25 pounds because I don't want to mess up my chest. I'm going to do this warm up. I'm going to add another 25, do another warm up with that, and then today we're going to try to hit some 205 on the bench. I do feel pretty tingly from the pre-workout, although I am very tired. I was just talking to Isaiah, a fellow bodybuilder here, and we're just talking about like, oh my gosh, this body fat's sticking on. Like I'm so screwed, like I'm 7.5 weeks out from Olympia, and I feel like I still need an extra 5 weeks. I don't know. I'm sure I'll make it, but I'm going to make it by the skin of my teeth. Like, part of me wants to just stop eating for like 6 days until my body weight drops. But I know that would be terrible because it's going to be muscle mass that gets lost as well as fat. So even if I lost 5 pounds, if I just didn't eat for 3 or 4 days, and I lost 5 pounds, then, you look at me and the way I look would not be good. So this is where the weight doesn't exactly reflect the body composition. So I'm stuck, and I don't know how all right, so yeah, a lot of things are not going my way lately, and it's sad. But some things that are going my way is that I'm still getting a paycheck. I am healthy. My family is pretty healthy. I am planning that vacation to Taiwan, and I have a friend in Taiwan, so that's cool. I have international friends. I can afford food. Like, I'm not, I have rent. I can afford rent. Financially, I'm pretty stable. The sun is shining. It's beautiful out. Yesterday after work, I went to the park and just kind of laid out a blanket and relaxed in the shade for a little while, and that was really nice. I'm grateful that I can do something like that, and I'm safe. I'm not in an active war zone or anything like that. So, a lot of first world problems. And I should be grateful to have those rather than anything else. Alright, so now we're on to our working weight here, and we're doing 215, mostly just because of the way the weights add up, and I don't really want to do the micro 5s and 2.5s to get it to 205. So I feel pretty decently warmed up. You might have noticed that my grip is closer because the further out I go, the worse it is actually for my right pec, which is still bothering me. So we'll see if this totally kills me or something. Yeah, I will say something, which this needs to be said. The Olympia has lost all value. I just got an email the other day of the official and final list of qualifiers for Wheelchair Olympia. There are 9 of us who actually qualified, either from competing last year or winning an IFBB Pro show, like I did. And then there are 6 people who qualify by points, which means they did an IFBB Pro show, but they lost, but they got points, and they are within the top 6 point standing. However, I'm not even sure if there are more than 6 people for the point standing. Maybe there's a few more. There's actually supposed to be 5, but number 5 and number 6 both have 9 points or something like that, so they tied, and so they just let all of them in. So I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong, but I think if you get second place at a pro show, you get 10 points, and then third place you get 9 points, and so on. I think. Because when I looked at the list, when I was in Toronto for my IFBB Pro show that I won, the 2 guys that I beat got their points, and they both qualified for Olympia. And so I'm against that. I think that's terrible. I think that's wrong and shouldn't be the case because, so one of the guys, he showed up to Toronto for the pro qualifying show. He won because he was the only competitor. And because of his physique was so good or blah, 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 typically the IFBB, they don't let you get your pro card unless you compete against 5 or more people. But he was the only one, and they still gave him his pro card because they thought, oh, he's been competing for a while and stuff like that. And they thought his physique was good enough. And so then they speed up the process to grant him his pro card. Then he competes the next day and gets second place. Because I won. And now he also qualifies for Olympia within just 1 weekend and essentially no competition. He competed against a total of 2 people the whole weekend. There were some guys at so the show that I did in Boise, Idaho, where I got my IFBB Pro card, I competed against like 6 other guys in a wheelchair. And the guys who got second and third were really good. And if they showed up, if either of those 2 or both or whatever showed up to Toronto, they probably would have gotten their pro card. One of them would have beat this other guy. The guy who got second place, he was big. He needed to fix up his posing a little bit. That's why he didn't beat me. But he was big. He was good. And he deserves to be a pro. Honestly, he deserves it. And if he showed up to Toronto, he would have won. I'm pretty sure he would have won. And then he would have competed the next day or whatever, and then he would have qualified for Olympia. But that guy doesn't get to go to Olympia because he was in the wrong show. That's the thing, is with the wheelchair bodybuilding, there's such low attendance that I didn't even have to try, it turns out, for Toronto. I didn't even have to try. And, and there's this other guy who got third place, and I think he still qualifies for Olympia because of the points in Toronto. For the prejudging, it was so cold backstage. They keep it cold backstage, which is not good. You want to be warm. You want to get the pump. You want to have your blood flowing. If you're cold, you're going to contract. And it was so cold backstage, he went to his car to hang out. And he almost missed it. He almost missed prejudging. He showed up not even a minute before we went on stage. No joke. He came in, and as soon as he got in, we just went up on stage. And if he didn't show up as soon as he did, or as late as he did, we would have had to wait to go on stage and let the next group of different guys go, which was annoying for me because I thought I'm ready to go now. Let's not mess up the show order. And anyway, so it was just unprofessional, I think. And then he still qualifies for Olympia. So being in Olympia has lost its value to me, which doesn't help my training. It doesn't help me take it any more seriously, because now, whether or not all 15 people show up, the ones who qualify, the top 9 who truly qualify, I can assume most of them will show up, and then the 6 who qualify by points, it's Olympia. Who doesn't want to go? You know what I mean? I get that. But at the same time, it's just not, it doesn't mean anything anymore to me. Because if it's that easy, then why am I trying so hard? Why am I dying? Why am I killing myself? Because unless I'm really, really, really going to win, but honestly, I don't really think I could at this point, just because I would have to get to my physical best, and I just don't have enough time to get there. So aside from all that, it's like, why am I just absolutely dying, low calories, I'm depressed, I'm lonely as hell. All of this, everything goes on the back burner. Meal prep is number 1. I can't go out to eat, I can't go do anything, I'm too tired to do anything. All just to compete against some guys who, more than a third of them just qualify by points. Some of them are legit. Some of them are legit point qualifications. They got second place, or they competed in more than one show to gain their points. That makes sense. That's okay, I guess. But the thing is, typically, to go to Olympia, that's the best of the best. This is supposed to be the best of the absolute best. These are the celebrities. These are the big names in bodybuilding. These are this is it. This is the big show. If you're a big name, if you're a celebrity in the bodybuilding world, you're at Olympia. Because if you're a celebrity, it's because you're an Olympian. And if you're not an Olympian, it's hard to be a celebrity, because how do you qualify yourself? You have to be good. And Olympia is how you say you're good. And, everyone's trying to get to Olympia. That's the penultimate show. That's it. That's the end all, be all. And there's so many guys, so many women, everybody competing to get to Olympia. And they can do, I'm dying at my 3rd show in 1 year. You can only feasibly do 2 to 3 shows, maybe 4 if you're extreme, per year, depending on how close or far apart they are. And so, for a normal person, if you win an IFBB Pro show, you're winning against a lot of people. First of all, just to become an IFBB Pro is very difficult normally. You have to do 2 or 3 shows. You have to do a national show, then you have to do this show, then you have to do a qualifying show, and then you have to win. And everyone wants to win, because then once you're a pro, now you have to do a pro show. And if you win, then okay, now you go to Olympia. But if you lose, how many people were you on stage with? 10? So if you're not top 3, you're really not going to get any points. And then, there's a pro show every weekend, almost. There's so many pro shows that, so if you get second place and you get 9 points, that's nothing. You got guys with maybe, 30 points or something, because they're doing 3 pro shows, and even if they lost all 3, if they get second or third, they're up in the high 20s, low 30s of points. And, so you're competing against hundreds and hundreds of people. So the top 5 for points for normal people is really tough to get into that top 5 for points. For the wheelchair bodybuilding, if you're top 5 for points, you're just one of the, almost everyone who competes in wheelchair bodybuilding, there's only a handful. There's not enough people to push others out. That's what I'm saying, I guess. So if you want to be top 5 for points, you can do that within one show, and you're not going to get pushed out of the top 5 simply because there's not enough people. There's not enough shows for enough people to gain points to push you out. Okay. I'm ranting. This is because this irks me a lot. And I don't even like that word. That word bothers me. But I have to use the word irk. I am irked about this. Alright, we're going to do our workout. I've been talking for way too long. I need to get done. I haven't even really started. This is my first set, and it's already 8 a.m. This is a slow day. Slow day. But don't worry, after this it's going to speed up. I hope. Last workout, dumbbell lateral raise, good old 35 pounds. No matter how sad boy I'm feeling, you can always rely on the bros, like my actual brother, and then all my homies. And it's really nice, you know, the connection and the camaraderie, the support that you get from your homies is great, you know. And I think this is a really great thing about being a guy, because now, you know, I'm not a woman, so I can't speak for women, but I feel like it's harder for women to have a solid group of friends and so easily. Women can be kind of, you know, petty or drama, gossip, stuff like that, where it's like, I talk to a guy in the gym 1, 2, 3 times, and we're homies. You know, it's like he's already got my back and I already got his back. So it's quick to make a deeper connection because we're guys. You know, it's a little bit more simple, I guess, because guys are less emotional in terms of capacity and EQ and all of that, really. But you know, it's just it can kind of simplify things in a way. And yeah, so it's just nice having the homies to just be there for you. You know. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but I went to the park yesterday after work. I just went and put down a blanket, laid out in the grass, and listened to an audiobook, or nothing, and just stare into the sky, look at a couple birds, planes, trees, clouds, and just think about life. Or think about nothing, just relax. You know, after a day of work, it's nice to just go lay down and relax. It was sad how empty the park was. I don't know if it's just me, but America seems lonely. But on that note, I think I'm going to stand today. I have not stood in my leg braces in such a long time. Such a long time. And I should do that today. I don't know if I have any other... I got to put my laundry away. I haven't done that in like 4 days. I hope it's fully dry. If it's not fully dry, then it's going to be all moldy smelling. Yeah, I got some stuff to take care of today. Work, first of all. I'm about to go to work after this and just work, which I'm not happy about, to be honest. But it's part of life.